I'm Noah Lyons from the What's Really Going On pod, and today we're going to talk to you about Texas. So instead of dealing with the economy or affordable healthcare or affordable housing, Trump out of nowhere called for Texas to essentially redraw their congressional maps, specifically calling for 5 seats when he said this.
President Trump now arguing Republicans are entitled to 5 more House seats there because he won the state.
I won Texas. I got the highest vote in the history of Texas, as you probably know. And we are entitled to 5 more seats.
Now, if you're unfamiliar, states' congressional maps are usually drawn every 10 years, with the next one happening in 2030. They're usually reallocated, especially after the census, when we know essentially how many people have moved and what the population growth is in each state. And make no mistake, the specific reason why he called for this is because he's about to get his ass kicked in the midterms. So, for example, here's an aggregate poll that is a generic ballot for House races across the country with, as of now, a good amount of people selecting that they would rather have a Democrat in office than a Republican. And that's bad news for Trump. So despite this being out the blue and 4 years away from a new census, Texas Governor Greg Abbott said, yeah, we'll do this, and essentially brought in the Texas state legislature out of the blue to a special session to essentially redraw these maps to give Republicans exactly 5 seats. That essentially began this arms race with Texas Democrats in the state essentially fleeing, saying that they didn't want any part of this, especially knowing that it's just happening because Trump specifically asked for it. So essentially what Greg Abbott and Texas Republicans did is essentially gerrymander voters in the state. That means that they manipulate the maps and voter lines to essentially pack in and get maximum benefits for a particular party, in this case, Republican. And make no mistake, that also comes at the expense of who? You guessed it, Black and Latino voters. So essentially how they were able to do this was basically take the Black and Latino populations largely surrounding Houston and Dallas and essentially split them up or pack them all into one district. Now, as you can imagine, the process of doing this essentially decreases their political representation and their political power within the state. With Houston alone, specifically, all the Black voters were essentially crammed into one district, lowering their political impact by half. So now, of course, last August, Greg Abbott signed a new map that would essentially allow 5 more Republican seats, even though it wasn't a census redrawing year, essentially creating this new arms race for redistricting across the nation. Now, of course, this is terrible, but this is how this all started. And now watch for the next video to find out what happened next.